5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Talking Wellness. This is episode 8 of your favorite Mornings Park television show. I'm Robert Sorensen, and again, today, you'll notice that, again, my coworker, Liam Goddard, is absent. We continue with our week of special guests, and I have a very special guest for you here today. I'd like to welcome to our show Celeste Lynch. Celeste is no stranger to Mornings Park, and I'll allow her to introduce herself and share a little bit about her current role here at Mornings Park.
Thank you, Robert. I'm pleased to be here and to be a guest. My role now here at Mornings Park is the Associate Executive Director. I've been here for almost 3 months now, but as many of you know, I was gone for about 1.5 years. Prior to that, I was here for 16 years as the Director of Wellness, and happy that Robert was able to continue on as the Director of Wellness and is doing a fabulous job, as you all know. My role now as the Associate Executive Director is, number one, the resident liaison. So anything that residents need, I am here to help. Whatever I can do to assist you with anything at all, you can always give me a call. I also oversee Orchid Terrace. I also oversee the concierges here on campus, and I am happy that I also oversee wellness and campus life.
I just can't get away from this lady. Wherever she goes and comes back, she's still just one notch ahead of me.
And I'm happy that Robert is right here with me.
Likewise. Now, before your time in senior living, I hear that you had more of a wellness or activity exercise background.
Yes, actually, when I first came to Mornings Park, I was the Director of Activities at the Chateau. In 2002, I joined Mornings Park. And my bachelor's degree is in recreational therapy. And really what recreational therapy is using people's leisure interests as therapy. So I worked with a lot of special populations in doing that, but I've always had a calling to work with older adults. And so from about, I would say, 1995 or so, I worked with the senior population, specifically in life plan communities like Mornings Park, and then used that recreational therapy in the activities realm.
So one leisure activity that comes to my mind, and I know is near and dear to your heart, is dancing.
Yes, it is, Robert. How did you know that?
I'm just a mind reader over here.
Yes, I do have a background in dancing and love to dance, as many of you know. But for those of you that don't know, I grew up dancing. I also really thought that that's what I wanted to pursue as my career for a long time. I was a dance major my very first year in college in Allentown, Pennsylvania at DeSales University. And I danced every day, 8 hours a day, and did so much dancing that unfortunately I had a knee injury that was very serious. And the doctors told me that if I wanted to continue to dance, I would probably have to have knee replacements within a few years. And so I didn't want to, have to do that so early on in my life. And so I really took off for a year of college and rethought what I wanted to do. And that's when I discovered recreational therapy, because I thought I can use my dance and exercise and wellness in serving seniors. And so that's the route I went.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned Allentown. Isn't there a song about Allentown? Isn't it Billy Joel, maybe?
I think it is Billy Joel. I can't recall who sings that right now, but
yeah, just strummed a chord in my brain.
Yes, I'm from the Philadelphia area originally, and outside of Philadelphia, the suburbs of Philadelphia, and so Allentown was about 1.5 hours away. After I did take off from that 1 year off, I did pursue my recreational therapy degree at Slippery Rock University, and some of you may chuckle when you hear that. Slippery Rock is out 50 miles north of Pittsburgh, and it was always kind of a joke about Slippery Rock's football team, because nobody had ever heard of that, and a lot of the newscasters would say, here's the score of Slippery Rock.
That was something similar, being a FGCU graduate. The first year that I was on campus, I remember one of the big T-shirt promotions that they had going around was an FGCU T-shirt that said, "Football team still undefeated." We had no football team.
Right, that's right.
So, and you're not the first dancer in your family.
That's correct. I think my love of dance really came from my mom. And my mother grew up also outside of Philadelphia in the hometown where I grew up. And she danced from a very early age. When she really became old enough, she decided that she wanted to pursue dance as a career. And so she went into dancing in a variety of dance chorus groups in New York, and then later became a rockette. And she was a rockette really before Radio City Music Hall was even built. She was a rockette in the Roxy Theater. Many of you may remember that. So she was one of the original Roxyettes, and did that for several years, and then went on tour again. Her favorite tour, she told me, was in the dance chorus of A Merry Widow, and she traveled all over the United States with that for many years. After she did that, she decided to come back to her hometown and open up a dancing school, and she taught dancing for over 50 years.
So it's not too far of a stretch to imagine that it's possible that some of our residents may have even seen your mom dance at some point in time.
It could very well have been. That's true.
That's a cool thought.
I unfortunately, my mother passed away in 1999, and I kick myself now because I didn't ask enough questions, and I found many photos and different things from her years when she was on tour and in the Rockettes, but I don't have any background information. There's not really a lot of notes on it, and I wish I had have asked more questions.
And I'll take that as an opportunity to share the importance of sharing your life stories with your family. I know this is very common practice for us younger generations to look to our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, and to wish that we had a little bit more knowledge about that past. This is something that we do offer assistance with through the wellness department. I know a number of our residents have already participated. We actually have a pretty cool documentary that will be broadcast out on channel 2501 here in just a couple of weeks. But if you're somebody who's interested in working to publish or write your life story, shoot us an email. Let us know at morningsparkwellness@gmail.com. Now, right now in this period of social isolation, we're not really able to currently engage in any sort of dance practice, which is a bummer to people like ourselves, one who is actually very good at dancing, one not so much. But it's a fantastic thing to do in a group setting. And along with this participation in dance, we bring a lot of additional health benefits.
That's right, Robert. As many residents have heard me say over the years, and I'm sure you too, dancing is a wonderful way to get exercise, but it's not only good for the physical part of your body, it's good for the cognition as well. Remembering different steps, using both sides, going from the right to the left, patterns. All those things are really good for our brain and, of course, for our own cardio and physical exercise as well.
So one thing that Celeste doesn't know is the very first time that I met her, I had no idea who she was. This is when I was first an intern in the wellness department, and some of you may remember the name Tessa. I first met Tessa, and my understanding was that she was in charge of all things wellness. And a big reason why this was on that day is because when I met Celeste, she was dressed in fitness attire. She was dressed down because she had just finished instructing her dance class, Celestial Moves.
I forgot about that, Robert. That's right.
Yeah.
We had a fun group. I'm not sure if any residents watching were in that group way back when, but we did, we kind of were doing some tap dancing, and we started off with basic steps, and then we got into a little bit of line dancing, and we had a lot of fun with that for about, I guess, about 6 months or so.
Yeah, and we had actually planned to roll out a line dancing program here through the wellness department. It actually would have been throughout the entire month of April. Of course, situationally, we've had to push that back. So if you're somebody who's interested in learning how to line dance or want to participate in line dancing, just know that come this fall, we'll be spiking that back into our group fitness schedule.
I'm thrilled to hear that, Robert. That's great.
So the health benefits are not just the physical, it's not just that cognition piece of getting to speak mind and body together, but I think one of our most popular events here on the Mornings Park campus that all of our residents know about is the variety show. Now, the variety show doesn't have the residents participate at all. All they get to do, sit back, relax, and watch us have a good time.
It might be nice to pull a couple of those out, Robert, while everyone's in social isolation. I think we have some filmed. But yes, that has been one of the things that I have always felt blessed about being here at Mornings Park. Was I would often say that my mom is looking down from heaven and so happy that I'm still dancing every year in the variety show, and also choreographing some of the numbers that our wonderful wellness and activities team have done over the years. We've had some memorable ones, Robert.
We have. I think Hello Dolly is the one that is arguably the most profound example of dance and singing at Mornings Park.
Yes, and that was a great one because we were able to utilize all men from our campus in that number. And although Robert has been dancing for several years here with me, there were some of the maintenance men and some of the other guys who had never even gotten on stage number one or even danced at all. So it was very courageous of them to learn the Hello Dolly number, and they did a great job.
Yeah, I think the hesitation in the room was palpable when Celeste told us what we were going to be required to do during the Hello Dolly program.
And then I'll say the last one that I was in was, what was it?
We were dressed as sailors.
Yes, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but that really highlighted anything goes. It just came to me. That really highlighted everyone's tap dancing skills, and that was, I think, the hardest dance number I've ever choreographed here, and our wellness team and activities team participated. And they just made me so proud because we practiced a lot for our residents. It's all for you. And I often will go back and watch the videotape of it because I'm just so proud of how well they learned all the tap numbers.
So if you happen to be a fan of any sort of dance sing-along routine and you think you have the number for us, again, show us your recommendation, shoot us an email, morningsparkwellness@gmail.com, and we'll throw it into the bag for consideration. I think you had actually tossed one idea out at me just a couple weeks ago. So we're already in the planning.
We're already thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
November will be here before you know it, and whether it looks like a traditional variety show, whether we're encouraging our residents to still sit maybe one seat apart from each other, just know that song and dance performance will be here.
Absolutely.
So dancing, a lot of fun in a group setting, not quite as much fun when you're doing it on your own. I know it's fun to sing in the shower, not so much fun to dance in the shower, maybe even a little bit dangerous to dance in the shower. And there's a lot of things that in a group setting that we're not able to engage in right now. And so let's take a moment. I've got our question of the week. What do you look forward to doing most, again, in a group setting that we're unable to do at this moment in time?
Well, I think because we have talked about the variety show, that is something that I'm really looking forward to here at Mornings Park to do in a group setting. Again, we don't know what November will look like, and up until then, practice-wise, but even if we have to maintain 6 feet apart, I think we can do that, although it's always a challenge on the stage. to get us all on. But that would be something here I would be looking forward to. The other thing as far as dancing goes that I look forward to personally is every other week my church is offering a virtual dance party. And so last Friday, my church at 8 p.m. on Friday had a virtual dance party. So we were all able to connect via our computers, and you could either be on camera or not. It depended on whatever you wanted. But there was a lot of great music, a lot of movement, and it really just made everyone feel great and uplifted everybody's spirits. So I'm looking forward to doing that again.
I think that 8 p.m. schedule just cut off a lot of our viewership. It might be a little bit tough. I know I'm asleep by 8:15 every night, so I'm right there along with you. And very similar to Celeste, the thing that I'm most looking forward to is a form of activity. You know, the gym is something that's very important to me. I have a great community of people that I get to engage with every day at 5 a.m. Fortunately, through similar technologies, we do Zoom workouts from time to time. Always on Sunday. Sunday at 9 a.m. is pretty comprehensive with a large group of people. One person, usually myself, kind of spearheads and writes a workout, and we all have our computers set up, so we're all going through the pain and the suffering together, and then at the end we get to reminisce a little bit, catch up, and truly just hope to do it in person soon enough.
That's great, Robert, that you're able to do that and keep making that connection. I think that's the important thing, and I think we should probably remind our residents. I know so many have given me positive feedback about the videotaping of your exercise classes that you're offering on the in-house channel. Will you remind everybody the times of those?
Yeah, we're running in-house exercise videos every Monday through Friday. We have a morning session that begins at 8:30, and then we have a late morning session that begins at 11:15.
I think that's wonderful, and I know I called someone on the phone today, and they said they would have to call me back because they were exercising, so I was happy to hear that.
That's what I like to hear. And we're continuing to think creatively outside the box. Stay tuned to the newsletter. Keep your eyes on it for additional wellness and activity-related options. As we begin to wind down our episode of Talking Wellness for the week, Celeste and I would just like to share one additional note of gratitude to the residents. I think as we've transitioned around campus, there is just a very lighthearted air of appreciation from the residents to the partners. And I speak for myself and allow Celeste to do the same, but I just want to share another thank you for being so open to our creativity during this time of social isolation and sharing your appreciation for what we're doing in the behind the scenes.
Absolutely, Robert. I want to thank you. You've done so much for all of the residents. I know they know a lot about what you do, but Robert does a lot of things behind the scenes that sometimes doesn't even have anything to do with residents. He helps partners. He helps deliver lunches every day for all of our partners, and so many things that you help with, and I appreciate that. I do want to thank the residents for your patience, your understanding. I know this is a difficult time. The messages you hear may not always be what you want to hear, but you are always very understanding with them. And so I thank you for that. I am so thankful and grateful to be back at Moorings Park. And I know, as Robert does, that we have your support, and that means the world to us.
We are in the single greatest place on earth at the single worst time in our nation's history.
Yes. Yep.
So again, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Talking Wellness. We were joined this morning by Celeste Lynch, speaking a little bit on her history as a dancer, a little bit about her mom's history as a dancer. We spoke on the opportunity to record or help you with your life story programs. And then we shared a little bit about what we're most looking forward to after this period of social isolation has lifted. So again, stay tuned. We'll be back with you. I'll be joined by another guest on the next episode of Talking Wellness, taking place every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. Until then, I'm Robert Sorensen.
And I'm Celeste Lynch.
Be well, Mornings Park.
Thank you.